So, according to reports, Arsenal are interested, very interested by all accounts, in Tim Steidten and are thinking of making an approach for him to replace Edu, who's obviously leaving Arsenal. Well, I say obviously leaving, but it's out in the news that he's now leaving Arsenal, which is a bit of a shock, I've got to be honest. Wasn't surprised to see that one. He's obviously been quite a key figure at Arsenal for quite some time. I actually think it could be a big problem for Arsenal. And I'll tell you what, if they go for Steidten, I think they could be in for a bigger problem, to be honest with you. I've not been impressed of Tim Steidten of late. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of excitement and a lot of things he's done at the club. A few things I've been impressed with. I think the Todibo deal in the summer was really good. I think he's a good player. I'm not suggesting Steidten's been awful, but I'll tell you what, some of the things have worried me with him. And the fact that Arsenal are looking at him, and if they are seriously looking at him, and we're talking, I mean, this is coming from big sources. This has been reported in the Times. This has been reported Telegraph. I think it's on the Athletic. It's everywhere. It's quite a big story actually, which gives it meat. It gives it some real credence that there's some real solid information here in regarding this potential change, which would see Steidten move over to Arsenal. I'm not sold on Steidten whatsoever. I'm really not. I've not been impressed with some of the signings. I'm going to be honest. I think some of the signings have been awful. I think some of the money we've spent has been confusing. And I've got to say, I'm concerned about him as an individual, actually, with his personality. And the reason I say that is because there seems something seems wrong with Tim Steidten at West Ham. Something doesn't seem quite right, does it? I don't know whether it's just me. I don't think it is just me, but there's a feeling for me that there's a desire from our technical director Steidten to be in the spotlight quite a lot. I think he quite likes the attention on the role. I think we've seen it quite a fair bit of late. It's happened quite a bit under David Moyes. It started off under David Moyes. I never quite understood why Steidten was always on the side of the pitch. I didn't really quite got it. I didn't really understand why your director of football, whatever, would be on the side of the pitch before games, watching, drinking coffee. I never quite got it, right? But, I'm not saying it's a big thing, a big deal. I just never quite got it. I just thought, why are you, that's the team. That's actually your head coach or manager, whatever. Getting the team ready. What's it got to do with you? Do you know what I mean? Like your bit's done. You've done the. You shouldn't be sort of dealing with tactics and stuff. I just don't know. Something about it I've never really got. I'm sort of thinking, why are you always on the side of the pitch? And we sort of saw it under David Moyes a fair bit. Again, I'll say I'm not jumping around like it's oh my God, I'm so angry about it. But I just found it a bit odd, And then this season, bearing in mind, by the way, that last season we had the whole Steidten had been banned from the training ground by David Moyes. And I remember at the time reporting it, and I think at the time the knives were out for Moyes, even by myself, So it was more of a like, there's been a big fallout and Moyes is so angry. But now looking back at it, when you can see there's a bit of a pattern emerging here with Steidten and head coaches, I'm talking about his relationship now with Lopetegui. I think he's a bit of a problem, the guy. He just seems like he's causing issues wherever he seems to be. So he was banned by the training ground by West Ham. There was a real issue with him and Moyes. Moyes didn't like him, basically. And I feel like it's just repeating itself, because the point we always blame Moyes. Moyes is too old school. Sorry, I'm going to turn a heater off. I've got a heater on. It's so warm. But there's always I think Moyes kind of got a bit of bad rap for that. I'm by the way, I'm not saying we didn't. I was part of that. Sort of Moyes is the issue. But it feels like there's a bit of a pattern emerging with Steidten. Obviously, we had Lopetegui come in this season. Now, I did say that when Lopetegui got appointed and West Ham were going to go into the new season, I wanted to see the pair of them at press conference to start with. I wanted to see that. And we got that from Steidten. However, I've not really understood why we've had Steidten on TNT Sports ahead of the Chelsea game, by the way, which was a bloody debacle, sort of talking about the new signings and how exciting everything is, and Lopetegui and bringing it up. And I'm sort of watching it, thinking like, why is he there? Like, what does that happen a lot? Do you get directors of football standing in front of all the Betway logos and like before games, like a manager talking about players and stuff? I never got it. I never really. It's almost like I think he wanted that. I think he maybe orchestrated it. He arranged it. And I just feel like we've seen that quite a lot. We've also seen Mr. Steidten publicly talking. Well, he talks quite a lot publicly, doesn't he? He does a lot of press, especially in Germany. He does a lot of talking. He also does a lot of leaking, doesn't he, to his sources about managers, being under pressure, about other managers that are being linked to West Ham, which I've just found ridiculous, really unprofessional. I've just not enjoyed what I've witnessed. I'm going to be honest, I really haven't. And I feel an arrogance is there. There's a bit of an arrogance, a bit of a, I'm in charge of West Ham. I'm now Mr. West Ham. I've kind of had that feeling for quite a while. And I just don't like the way he's treated Lopetegui. I really haven't. And on top of that, and this is without even talking about the signings that have been pretty awful. Not all of them, as I've said. Tadebo, a couple of others have been all right. But the vast majority I've been quite disappointed with. I really have. I really have been quite disappointed with and confused about. Guilherme, one of them. I mean, what was that about? Why have we signed Guilherme? Why have we signed a £25 million Brazilian teenager and he's not getting near the first team? He's not really getting any, not seeing anything. He's not going out on loan. He's not with the academy. He's not playing. Like, well, why did we do that? We didn't get the John Duran deal done. Why? Why didn't we get that done? Why didn't you negotiate that and get it sorted out? I mean, there's just a few things, and even the targets we've gone for. Look at the striker. We're after John Duran, this fast, powerful striker that can, unleash a shot from 30 yards into a top corner, 20 years old, whole career ahead of him. Oh, no, we can't get him. All right, we'll go for 31-year-old slow German that's never played in the Premier League. It's just, what? Injury prone as well, oddly enough. That suits West Ham. I'm just not sold on the guy. I'm really not sold on him. I'm really not. I've been really unimpressed. I wasn't impressed with the way that he publicly came out and flirted with the move to Liverpool while he's, employed at West Ham. How unprofessional. You don't need to do that, do you? You don't need to publicly say anything. Why don't you just go quietly? If you're interested in the Liverpool job, why don't you get your representative or maybe yourself, give them a ring? Keep it quiet. Do you know what I mean? Do it professionally. Do it that way. Keep it away from public domain. Just say, look, I might be interested in coming over in the summer or something. That happens. We work. We might get an offer you might like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I just felt the fact you did it all publicly, so us fans saw it. I just sort of thought, why would you do that? Oh, I love being at West Ham. I love it, but always flattered to be invited by Liverpool. I'm at West Ham at the moment, though. Well, thanks for that. I've just not been impressed. Honestly, I'm really not been impressed. I had such high hopes for Tim Steidten, but I think he's under a lot of pressure at West Ham. And by all accounts, he's also not around. Apparently, he shows up for match days. He shows up when the cameras are around, apparently, I believe. He likes to get his old suit on and his trainers and walk around with his coffee and give players a pat on the back in the tunnel. What's that about? Good luck before the game and all that. It's almost, it's something not right. There's something not right there, Something not right. And now apparently Arsenal are interested in him. I've got to be honest, they're welcome to him. I'm I don't want to be horrible. I just feel like that. When I saw that, I was a bit like, thank God for that. That'd be brilliant. Because if they think they're getting some wonderful technical director in their hands, or director of football, you want to call it, I think they might be mistaken. Because I feel like we've been a bit duped. The pearl diver, this guy goes out and finds all these wonderful players and he's going to build this exciting team. Well, have you seen our team? Have you seen our midfield? I want to get Kyle Walker-Peters in because he's a fast attacking right back. Okay, I can't get him. I'll get a defensive one in then. There's no consistency with what we're doing. I understand he's working under David Sullivan. I do acknowledge that. And I understand that probably could be having an impact on his performance. But I'm certainly, I'm not sold on the guy. I'm just not. I don't feel any kind of like, this guy, he knows what he's doing. I haven't felt that for quite a while with him, actually. I've been really disappointed. It feels like we might be getting a get out here. And I'll tell you what, and really what I should be talking about is what's in the on the thumbnail of this, which is Mark Noble. Mark Noble identified Edson Alvarez and really got that deal done. He was a real big part of that deal. He was also a really big part, and this is of Mohamed Kudus. This is Mark Noble. He was a big part of these deals. identifying, getting them to do. He was a big part of it. Steidten kind of, took the glory and was the front man of it. And I get why, by the way. I'm not trying to advocate him for that. I get it. He's the technical director. He's the one that's going to finalise the deal. But Mark Noble was really big in that. And Mark Noble's also been working with Steidten now for quite a while. Not as long as I'd imagined he would have been. If he is to go, I think he is going to go. I've got to be honest. I actually will be surprised at this stage if Steidten's going to last this season. If Arsenal were really after him, if I was West Ham, I'd be trying to sort of push that ahead, to be honest. But because he's not, I don't think he's regarded that highly at the moment. I think the club are a bit like, we've given you all this money and we're not really seeing much here. But Mark Noble, I actually think he's coming out. Everything he seems to be doing at West Ham is looking good. It's really good. I feel like he's the way he's handled this academy. Let's get this right. West Ham have lost so many academy players over the years. So many, countless players. How many players now have we seen leave this football club that we've wanted to keep? And we've just not been able to hang on to them. We've just been unable to. It feels like that's changed since Noble stepped into this position to really take control of the situation. Look how many players who are now signed on long-term deals. Lewis Orford just signed a long-term deal. He's England under-19 captain. Could be England captain one day. Do you know what I mean? He could be an amazingly strong player. He just signed a big long-term contract at West Ham. All right, he's a West Ham fan, but let's be honest, that hasn't stopped other players that so-called love the club, been here since boys, and they've moved on because they just don't see a future. And Noble's been able to talk to them and show them a route to the first team. I just feel in Mark Noble, we might have an upgrade on Steidten. I not to sound, I'm just speculating here. I'm not saying, it's a fact, but I get that feeling with him. I just feel like with Noble, you've got someone that loves the club, loves West Ham, would do anything to see this West Ham do well. That's his absolute dream. Like, he's a West Ham fan, not only a West Ham player, a former West Ham player, West Ham captain. He's a West Ham boy. He's a West Ham fan, comes from a West Ham background. Tim Steidten don't give a shit. He don't care. He's just a job, isn't it? I mean, obviously he cares for his CV. He cares for his reputation. But he's not sitting there desperate to see West Ham do well. And absolutely, it's just a job, really. And if he can, as we said, he got linked with the Liverpool move, didn't he? Linked with Liverpool, and there he is, like flirting away, and couldn't wait to make it very public that he was interested in that club. I mean, I would certainly be feeling more confident and happy knowing that Mark Noble was taking this role. And I that's what I'd be doing if I was West Ham. So, yeah, I think it's big news. I think this is really big news. I say this is not just a little bit of a gossip column in the back of the Daily Star. This is big news, and this is something that seems that it's got something in it. I'll tell you what, if Arsenal after Tim Steidten, welcome to him.